This is to certify that Movie Chats has been classified for live streaming.
Are you ready? It's showtime.
Hey!
Good evening, the two people that have bothered to join us this evening.
Is that
Yeah, I apologise. We are just working out how to use this new StreamYard.
That's true.
It's changed in the 8 months since we've last been live, or however long it's been. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Movie Chats. Yes, we have changed our name back to Movie Chats from Real and Retro. I think the brand change worked for a bit until we struggled to still make content, and everybody was still referring to us as Big Steve, Little Steve on Movie Chats. So it just made sense on moving us back to where we started from. Little Steve, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, my friend. I'm just getting over a little bit of chest infection, but nothing else new there, really. But yeah, I've been busy. How about yourself?
Yeah, busy. Started my new job 7 weeks ago. Still got my old job to do at the same time. So yeah, that's took up quite a bit of my time, as you can imagine. And,
Little. Have you seen it?
no, hang on a second. Oh, there you go. Well, yeah. So we're back here. We're back on YouTube. I don't know how long for, but we're back here anyway. We have got a special guest, and we have sent the link out to a couple of other people as well. So hopefully they come on. Not that our guest is not good enough by himself. Of course.
Yeah, clarify that, Steve.
Yeah, clarify. Yeah. Good evening, Michael. How are you?
I'm good, you cheeky fucker.
It is good to catch up with you. I think you were our last guest on our last stream, if I remember correctly.
I believe so. Then again, I got the memory of a goldfish, so
Yeah,
who fucking knows at this point?
It's either a good thing that you're our first guest on the comeback tour, or you killed us off the first time round, and we'll see how it goes now.
We'll see how that goes. Yeah, because that I went into streaming hiatus, and then last week I was on Luke's stream, and now I'm here. So seems I'm making my own comeback tour with the lives.
Yeah.
I need to apologise to Luke because he sent me a link out, but it was my son's birthday, so I was like, I'm not sure if I'll make it, mate, and then I didn't get a chance to. So if you are watching, buddy, I do apologise.
No, I said to him Wednesday and Fridays aren't good nights for me. They're my busy nights, and they're the nights everyone seems to want to go live. So, yeah.
True.
So apologies, Luke. Right. So, what have you two been up to then? How's the collections going, or not going, or have you changed anything in the couple of months that we've not been live?
I'll let Little Steve answer first.
Oh, come off it. Right, fine. My collecting is overwhelming. I am trying to change some of the ways I'm collecting stuff at the minute. I'm finding more and more titles that I want to pick up. But I'm getting some of the classic TV series stuff. That's what I'm trying to collect at the minute. Hey, Chris. Hey, Elaine. So that's where I'm at the minute. I've recently got the box set of Birds of a Feather and the Wonder Years, but there's a couple of others I've got my eye on.
I forgot you're old, aren't you?
Yeah, I am old. That's exactly it. Very old. But I
think God made the universe in 6 days, and He made Little Steve just to piss us off.
Mike, I've missed you, mate. I'm not gonna lie. Island, yeah.
Chris,
Hey,
what's
Rob.
bed?
Hey, Rob.
What it is that I haven't set myself up in the corner, so that's the Thursday, the corner I'm normally filming, and over there, I just haven't set myself up in the corner.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, so that's the reason why I've not been streaming live, is because that's the business of stream elsewhere.
Gotta make the money somehow to pay for those cars.
Good evening, Rob. You all right? So come on then, mate. What have you been up to now? Little Steve's bored us to death in the years.
Not a lot, really. They're just like as I was saying before we jumped on live. I'm just not really finding anything. Like over the past 4 weeks, I picked up like maybe 4 things, all DVD. But to be honest, I am finding a fair more steelbooks than I have in the past. So usually, if I find a DVD steelbook and I have the Blu-ray version of it, I'll just pick up the DVD steelbook and take out the DVDs and throw in the Blu-rays and do it that way. Like I'll probably end up doing with one of the steelbooks that I got last week. In terms of like collecting habits, I haven't really had much time to alter. It's just go see what I can, see what's out there, and if it's something that's cheap and I want it for my collection, I'll usually pick it up. But aside from that, it's the same old. Whenever I have a free time, considering the fact that my week is just full with coursework and playing Yu-Gi-Oh at locals, filming content for that. That takes an age to edit. Like I could film it all on the Sunday, and it takes me 3 days to watch back the footage, script it, and then record my audio, edit the footage to match the audio, and render it all together to have it up for a Wednesday. Like that takes.
That's it. When me and little Steve get together 2 times a year and we do a video, I try and edit him out as well. So that takes for an age in a day. He just seems to like go, oh.
He's just busy these days with his real mini friends.
Yeah, it's like the British and Saving Private Ryan. I am here.
Yeah.
Good evening, Gareth. Good evening, Lyndon. Yeah, I know it's Michael, myself, and unfortunately, little Steve has joined us. So you're right, the one good Steve. I
see the bullying little Steve has commenced.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
I think have to go on live and just get it out, get your frustrations out.
Do you know what the funny thing was? We were talking before about before you decided you were going to join us, Steve, when the guest was here half an hour before you, that about Luke's best bits video that he put out the other day. Speaking of devil, he will appear in the chat. There he is. About Luke's best bits video we put out the other day, and not of the fact that Michael and I bullied Luke quite a bit, and it was quite funny. It was Luke bullying you quite a bit on the stream, moving you around, muting you, and moving you off the screen and stuff like that, which I found was quite funny. I forgot all of that stuff.
So did I, yeah. Like I was watching the back, like, oh yeah, that's from last year.
Yeah. It shows how long it's been since we've been on.
Yeah.
Life has a way of getting in the way sometimes, doesn't it?
It does. Especially when you've not got a mummy to buy you stuff at a boot sale for you.
The fact that he until I played it, he thought that I didn't have that because I still have that clip. It's saved onto my YouTube channel. So if he ever annoys me, I can just boop.
I think I've still got the Muppet clip that I played.
I think you might do, yeah.
Right, let's get into movies and entertainment and stuff now. There's a couple of trailers that have dropped recently that look really, really good. Yeah. And the one that I like to talk about, and I'm a big fan of Tron and Tron Legacy, was Tron Ares. Yeah. Now that trailer was absolutely brilliant. To have that opening sequence where they're on the light bikes and they're in and out the cars, and he pops it and he cuts the car in half. That is absolutely brilliant. I can't wait for that film in October to finally come out, because it went from being a film to a series to a mini series back to a film again, and it looks absolutely amazing.
I was quite excited. I mean, obviously it's been on the cards for about a year or so, hasn't it, that they were going to do another one.
Yeah, Jared Leto looks brilliant at the end of that clip when you just see him there. He looks great in all the gear and the light suit. It looks, yeah. I just can't wait for that.
I have not seen it because I haven't seen any of the Tron films. I tried to watch the first one a couple of years back and I just switched it off.
What?
Yeah.
See, you're just the wrong generation for the first Tron, aren't you?
Yeah, like I'm 27, so clearly, yeah.
Even
I bet when you watched it for the first time, you're like, "What is this crap I'm watching?" With all these,
I think I switched it off after like 5 minutes. I'm just looking, as like, granted, I was watching the DVD version, so obviously the CG isn't going to be great. I'm just looking, as like, I have no idea what the fuck is going on here.
No,
I'm not interested. It's not gripping me. I'm gonna switch it off and get it out of my collection.
You need to watch it. You need to give it a go. The premise behind it is obviously Flynn's a computer programmer, and he works with a big company and stuff like that. And this big company's made a AI program, and it's swallowing up little programs.
Yeah, I remember that bit from the intro. But yeah, no, just after a while, after like 10, 15 minutes, I just switched it off.
Yeah, and then Finn gets sacked or suspended from work, and he jumps down and he gets beamed into the computer world, and his master program and stuff like that he's building puts programs through games, and he raises stuff, and also he ends up in that world, and then it's him getting out of that world, and then Legacy is just absolutely brilliant.
I remember seeing lots of trailers for that when it was coming out, and then I remember hearing a lot of bad things about it for years until rather recently, and now everyone's like with the prequels, Star Wars films changed their tune on them.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those films that is grew a following afterwards. But if I remember, it was released the same time as a lot of big films, that the Pirates of the Caribbean and all that stuff all released at the same time, and it just got swallowed up in that.
And I've also heard that a lot of people recommend just watching Legacy. That if you want to try the original, give it a shot. That it's not for everyone.
Yeah. No, Legacy's a lot more update. Obviously, it's 20 years after the first one, or 25 years after the first one, so it's a lot more updated. The graphics on it are beautiful. The CGI is amazing on it. The way that they've brought everything up to date and stuff is great. And plus, it's Daft Punk as well. The whole soundtrack's Daft Punk. Now, this one's Nine Inch Nails. So the whole soundtrack's Nine Inch Nails. So I can imagine looking at the trailer and looking who's in the film, who's the star of the film, who's produced the film, and then obviously who's done the soundtrack of the film. I can imagine how dark and gritty this is going to be going forward in that film. I just can't wait. Really can't wait for it.
It looks. I mean, the thing is that I was watching a few videos about it, and they were saying that like that's how you make a trailer. Like that's how you do it.
Yeah,
that was epic. The trailer. So I'm hoping that we've not just seen the best bits. You know what I mean? It's definitely going to be worth it. So what's the second trailer you want to discuss then? Because I think I've got an idea.
Go on. What do you reckon it is?
I reckon it's the new Predator.
I was just about to say Predator Badlands.
Yeah. And he's going to start with the words, I'm a big fan.
No, I'm not going to say I know I'm a big fan. I'm going to ask you, what did you think of the new look of the Predator?
I'm torn. Like, I get that they're trying to make it look more humanoid, so because it's setting up that this Predator is going to be our main protagonist, so they want to make him more human-like, so that way we can connect to him more. And I like the fact that there's in the trailer that there's a bunch of different Easter eggs if you know where to look, like the synthetics from Alien being there, kind of confirming that it might be set in the AVP universe, or canonizing AVP to an extent.
I thought Badlands was going to be a bit more of a follow-on from Prey.
Yeah.
but it's set in the future, isn't it? So
Mm.
it's
Isn't there a separate sequel for Prey though?
there
There is, yeah.
there is now because there's a lot of backlash that this one was meant to have been that, and it's not that. This is
Mm.
sort of in between AVP 2 and Aliens, isn't it? It's sort of in that sort of gap. So you've had the first couple of Predators already gone through. The only thing for me is that obviously, if we've had the first couple of Predators, then we've had AVP, then we've had the Predator.
Yeah.
That element of surprise, we know about the Yelches now. We know, there's been a lot of people that have studied the weapons and this and that.
Yeah.
So it's not a surprise to me, and this is why I think when we get Alien Earth, why the Xenomorphs were a big surprise to us in the first film, because obviously this is set before any of this has happened in Alien Earth. So we and plus we've already had AVP and AVP2, so we know about the Xenos as well. So I just don't understand how it's all of this is supposed to be a big surprise unless they pull a Star Trek Destiny on us and bang, you're not allowed to talk about any of this now. And
I think that's what it's going to be, because obviously we know from like as much as from what I've seen from the Alien films up till Resurrection that these big corporations want the xenomorph, so they obviously know of the xenomorph. So I think what it leads to me like it is going to be a Discovery situation where all of that gets classified and only the big higher ups know about it. Have not watched AVP yet because I'm still working my way through the Alien films first. I know not a lot of people were happy with that issue on Discovery, but it'll be I don't know. I won't probably watch Alien Earth for a while until I've watched all the other Alien films and then and Prometheus, and then go for some of the AVP films.
Yeah.
Before I give Alien Earth a shot. Or maybe even by the time I reach Romulus, I'll give Earth a shot after that. Whether or not I do a review on Earth is yet to be seen.
So have you not got?
I really enjoyed that Romulus.
I was going to say, have you not got through Romulus yet, then, Michael? No.
No. My most recent Alien watch was Resurrection, and that was at the beginning of this year, I believe.
Right.
So okay. I still have. Because I'm going in order, so I didn't want to jump ahead to Romulus when that came out. I'd rather watch them like I've done with the Predator and the Rocky films, and then eventually make my way to it.
Yeah, Rob's put in the chat there that Prey 2 is still happening. Yeah, we know it's still happening, but the consensus was that this Badlands film was because it's been kept quiet about what the storyline was for this until recently, and it was sort of like Badlands was going to be the Prey 2, and it's not. It's another Predator franchise movie setting up another timeline. So I think we're at risk of what DC did, where they had 3 Jokers running at the same time. We're going to have 2 Predator timelines running at the same time. I don't like the look of the new Predator. To me, it gives me American 1980s high school vibe with the dreadlocks and
plus the head's too small.
Yeah,
and where's its mask? That's the cool aspect of Predators is their masks.
Yeah, and I'm not buying it's a young blood and he's training. We had that in Prey. I'm not interested in an adolescent predator with spots trying to get his first kill. I want the badass. I've had 1,000 kills. Look at my skulls on my wall, and by the way, I'm going to rip your head off just by looking at you the wrong way, type of thing. I want that. I want the suspense from the original Predator back. And I don't think every bad guy needs to be a good guy in their own story these days. I just want a solid bad guy. If that makes sense to you.
No, I mean, it does. Like I say, I was a bit. I know. There's been a bit of chat on Facebook today, but like, it just seems quite underwhelming, that trailer. Really, I don't know what to make of it. Like I say, I'm a bit mixed myself.
Yeah. Like, obviously, I'm going to see it because I'm caught up with the Predator films.
Oh yeah.
And I still think the first Predator film and Predators are the best. So I kind of had a lukewarm feeling about Prey. Like, it's good, but not as. I think it was just too overhyped for me when I watched it. So I didn't live up to that hype.
I think for me, I watched it the first 20 minutes it was released. As soon as it was available to watch, I watched it and I was like, okay, yeah. And if you remember, Steve, I was saying to you, I don't know how a little Indian girl with no weapons is going to kill a predator, and somehow
it was a really enjoyable movie. That
but then, like you say, that first 5, 6, 7 hours, there was nothing while everyone was watching it. 10 hours after release, whack. It went up, didn't it? The hype of it went up, and then that's where I think people's opinions of it split. Is it as good as what everyone was saying it was, or wasn't it?
Well, Rob saying Badlands was always a separate film.
Yeah. I believe I remember that when it got announced just before I even finished reviewing all the Predator films. That Badlands was going to be its own separate thing, and then we're going to get a sequel to Prey.
Do you think we're going to be splitting off into all these different multiverses for every bloody franchise now?
Just give up on the multiverse, honestly. It's a neat idea if executed correctly.
But it's not though. It's the studios using it as a soft reboot for everything now.
Yeah.
It's an alternate timeline, or it's we've gone. Oh, it's a time bubble. We've now gone back in time 6 years. So what happened in that film doesn't happen again, like Terminator: Dark Fate, and where that just jumps and all of a sudden they've killed John Connor, and that whole storyline gets wiped out because of that sort of scenario. And then they did it again with the Terminator anime series on Netflix, where it was based in Japan or wherever it was, and it was like the whole Terminator story didn't really exist, and they rewrote it all on the basis of that. I don't know, and I'm not a big fan of the idea of them doing another Terminator film.
They like as I like Terminator 2, and don't get me wrong, I do like some of the Terminator films that came out. Like Genesis really blew me away. Like I really enjoyed Genesis, but it should have stopped with 2. 2 should have been it.
Give it 10 years, 15 years, then give me another one. Bring it back. Give us a new Terminator or whatever. I'm not holding high hopes for the Highlander film either.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah, because we know we haven't heard much about it. Like the most recent thing I heard is that it's still happening. That Henry Cavill's starting his training for that, I believe.
Yeah,
but that's about it.
Hey, I tell you what, did you see the trailer for Naked Gun?
Yes.
Fuck, I don't know.
I have never seen a Naked Gun film, but I've found that trailer to be absolutely hilarious.
What do you come on, Steve? What do you reckon?
I just don't know why we need it. I just don't know why we. If you're going to bring back an edgy comedy or something like that, bring back something like Blazing Saddles.
But is this not one of those where it's putting a finger up to what we've been subjected to the last 10 years?
Yeah, I understand that, but what I'm saying is that if you were going to do it, Blazing Saddles has been very misinterpreted as racist against a certain group of people, and it's not. It's racist against white people. The whole film's just taking the piss out of white people, right? So bring something like that back. So that something is edgy. Is that not right? Okay, we're just going to throw the finger at wokeism because we're still suffering with that now. But if you're going to do it, you're going to break that wall completely.
Are you telling me you've not been and watched Snow White then?
I've watched Snow White.
Have you watched it?
I've had bollocks. So
You have watched it.
The fact that Snow White has dethroned Dragon Ball Evolution as the worst rated movie on IMDb speaks volumes.
I've heard sales has gone up for Dragon Ball. People have gone to buy it now. How bad was that film?
I think it's been 2 years since I last forced myself to relive Evolution, and it's still so bad. Like the fact that got made and didn't kill the franchise it still amazes me. I mean, it was so bad that Toriyama came back to create a new Dragon Ball because of how bad Evolution was.
Brilliant. Like I say, I mean, the thing is that while we've not been on for a while, there seems to have been a lot going on in Hollywood and everything.
I don't know. I can remember talking about Snow White.
Yeah, because it was put back a year and a half.
Yeah, yeah. When she was getting
It's
herself.
The thing though with Snow White is I'm hearing a lot of praise for Zegler, but a lot of hate for Gal Gadot, which in my opinion, Gal Gadot deserves that hate because she can't act out of a paper bag.
No, I think the problem is that you've got Gal who's supposed to be the one that's jealous of Snow White. You know,
in reality, that would never be the case.
Yeah, Ziggler's nowhere near Gal. Sort of. I'm not saying she's ugly, but you can't say how she's jealous of her. And then taking the issues of the storyline out of the equation, about taking the whole love aspect out of it, and the fact that she's probably got, the fact that Snow White probably got gangbanged by 7 blokes while she was unconscious one night is probably, that's the storyline that we wish we had if you were taking it into the modern sort of way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Snow White's it's not going to do anything.
What it has done, however, is it seems to have killed Disney's momentum of doing live action remakes.
Yeah,
there's another one that they're going to do, but that's been put on indefinite hiatus.
I was just about to say it's another new Fassa. It's a nail in the coffin for these remakes. But I don't think Disney, and with all the changes in Star Wars studios now, that they've got rid of those 3 executives that wants to make Star Wars gay and lesbian.
The
fact that they've changed the studios for Doctor Who as well now, that they've got rid of some of the Disney executives in charge of Doctor Who because of what they've done with that for the last 2 seasons.
To be honest, so far I am enjoying the first 2 episodes of this season that we have gotten. I thought that they're pretty interesting. I still don't know how I feel about that meta joke in last week's episode with the Doctor breaking into our reality. I definitely think Supernatural done it better.
Yeah.
And the fact that all 3 of them said Blink was the best, their favorite episode and the best episode. With a bunch of classic Doctor Who DVDs in the background, sure fucking ludicrous.
Yeah.
Days of Androzani clears that Blink every day.
What I was saying before about Terminator, I think
I
think Doctor Who's in that arena for me now. What did we have, Michael? 20 years between the last one and Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah, it was it was a lot shorter because it was 1996 when it came out.
Taking the Paul McGann Christmas specials,
then it would be 89 to 2005.
Yeah, so 20 years, give or take.
Yeah.
So like I say, taking away the Paul McGann Christmas special and the one-off little episodes here and there, I think Doctor Who's now in that scenario where your generation that's grew up with him now need a new Doctor when you're our age. You know,
like I think the rumor is that this is Shooty's last season that he's bought. I think he might have bought out of his contract because
I
since
was
there's
gonna
no
say, I
word
think it's
on a
like-
third season, because we haven't had a third season yet being confirmed, because Disney's only bought in for 26 episodes. By the time this season finishes, plus the world between the land and the sea spin-off comes out, that's it. That's the 26 episodes. But because Shooty's basically sitting on on his hands waiting to hear if he's going to be back filming, he might have bought out of his contract. So we might get a new Doctor, but they haven't announced it yet. So who knows? They might announce it closer to the season finale, or it might be something that happens off screen, like the when Paul McGann regenerated into the War Doctor and then into Eccleston. No, we didn't see that until the 50th. So that could be something that they decide to do after. And I still think, I know AJ and Ian over at Ian Hills the Rambling say this a lot, and I do agree. Even though I've been enjoying this era, it needs a break.
Yeah,
like it's barely. It's like, I know the whole dropping it on streaming in the morning and then having it air at the later on BBC One is killing the viewership. Like, I know I say a lot of it is making up for that because it is on streaming straight away, but it's killing the show. You either have it as a streaming show and not on air on TV, or you have it just air on TV and put it on streaming like an hour after it aired.
Yeah.
I don't mind it going early because Game of Thrones did that. Game of Thrones put it on early afternoon and then did it at 9 o'clock.
Mm.
You know, so you can watch it on Sky Atlantic, or you could watch it on, or you could watch it on Sky Plus or whatever it was, and you watched it early, and then you could watch it again at 9 o'clock. There was no. Ethan, mate.
There he is.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, just about, mate. We've got you. Quite noisy in your background there. You're in the restaurant.
I'm in Jurassic Park.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm in my restaurant, yeah. No one's here.
Very busy then, yeah.
Yeah, it's quiet.
Yeah, so the whole streaming thing doesn't bother me. But I think what's killing the viewership of it is that it's not a particularly good. What's your view, Rob?
I've literally just joined because I was on a delivery. So what was the question? Sorry.
All right, okay. So we're talking about Doctor Who, and then how I feel it needs a break after this series. Give it another 15, 20 year break like we had in between the last and next. Clear out your mind, come back strong like the best. We're also talking about the streaming it live, streaming it versus live everywhere. You can watch it very early on and then watch it at 9 o'clock when it's streamed on the channel. I don't mind that. I'm an early bird, so I watch the very first things. Where do you stick with that?
I'm not a fan of Doctor Who. And personally, a lot of these new series now, obviously they're made for the gender and the time. You remember as a kid, used to be like about 12 o'clock, where you used to watch like Monkey or like Star Trek. You know, it was on an earlier time. I think with the BBC and stuff, it's not, and Disney, it's not a mainstream show anymore. Personally, they've killed their own market trying to work to an agenda, just like Star Wars. Do you know what I mean? You need to watch everything to know what's going on. I think just same with Star Wars, it needs a break. And obviously the resurrection or bringing them back time and time again of all the doctors, it doesn't need a reboot. It needs time away. It needs people to. And I'm going to say it's like Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah.
That you know take the main character out of the film, like Halloween 3, and see if he's missed before bringing him back.
Mm-hmm.
You got to want him to return. I think it's just too much.
Yeah.
I think they need to give it probably about 4 to 5 years.
And you mentioned Star Wars there. Andor's just starting on Andor season 2.
But it's supposed to be great.
I don't know how many episodes I'm going to have to watch before we can realise he's building tie-ins. Let's move on to the big one about Gareth, and he's finally getting up to that Rogue One storyline. We all know what happens with him.
This is the main problem. You're making a show about someone that dies.
Yeah.
So in theory, you would make the show before the film.
Yeah.
Because if it was a story about the Bothans and many Bothans died, we don't need a second season around. For me personally, I've watched Andor season 1, and I know it's supposed to be amazing because I've been hurt so many times. I think like Ahsoka, I've been hurt so many times with Skeleton Crew and all these other shows. I don't think I'll go to the cinema to see a Star Wars film.
No.
Yeah.
Anymore. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it doesn't matter how good it is. I still haven't got the interest to watch it.
No. I'm sort of toying with that sort of idea about Andor. I'm not looking at.
That's probably what with you, Steve, and Halo. I know it's supposed to get better as it's gone on, but you're a massive Halo fan, and then you find out in like the first episode he does a dread and he hasn't got a helmet on, and the whole idea is you are the Master Chief in the games, so you're literally what you see. You are that character.
Yeah. See, I didn't mind the Halo story, the Halo doing that, because that was to separate the fact that what I didn't like is that when after the series started, he made you his character. It's appropriate, and all of a sudden he become the master we all knew and loved. He was shooting everything, triple good and everything, and all that. I didn't like that.
It didn't really need it, but then you can go too close to the source. Look at everyone kicking off about Last of Us.
Yeah.
Everyone's seen it, but something happens in the second game quite early on, which has just happened in the show, and people are going mental about it, but people forget. People went mental when it came out in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've not watched Last of Us and I've not played the game, so I don't know how accurate that is. One everyone's raving about is Fallout.
Yeah.
How good that was.
That's good. But there's not enough hours in the day, though, is there? There's not enough hours in the day to watch everything. There seems to be so much stuff. And you're looking at Tron, so I'm not a big Tron fan, but say you've got Tron coming out, then you've got the Predator film a month afterwards. We can't afford to go to all these films.
Well, I can, because I for the next year I have a student car, so my movie tickets are just a tenner.
Really?
Yeah. In my local cinema on a student card, it's a tenner. $9.95. I'm tempted to go to rewatch Revenge of the Sith tomorrow in cinema to get the poster. It's only going to cost me a tenner with my student card.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm moving close to my router. Is my internet fun, or is everyone's having trouble?
it's yours, I think.
Right.
That's why I thought your restaurant was booming before, Rob, and it was just like, oh, right, okay, it's empty.
I'm trying to find my Wi-Fi point. I probably won't be able to go long because I've got deliveries to do. But I just want to quickly go over the alien stuff with you. So Alien Earth is it looks like I'm a big Kenner Alien fan, and where they had the different species on different planets. There's a dog alien, cow alien, monkey, and there's supposed to be like 7 species in this show, and in these trailers they've put, there's like all tanks with them in. So I think that's what we're going to see in this show. We're going to see different, because on the teaser trailer, it's almost like a fly on the ship.
Yeah.
And it weren't a normal xenomorph, but where it was moving, it was a flying facehug, and no one knew what it was. So seeing new species is I think it's going to make it something else.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
He's just starting out his camera by the looks of it.
Yeah, I am looking forward to Alien Earth. But I'm sort of like wondering
What happened when
how
you
they're
did
going to
his
keep
camera
it
for
up.
so long?
What?
Okay, then.
Yeah, so I am wondering how they're going to keep it all sort of like in timeline. But if they're going around that alien sort of cartoon that we never got, that'd be ideal.
The thing is that with the cartoon, I'm doing an in-depth video about that. The cartoon was never supposed to happen. It was a couple of screenshots that was put to Fox, I think it was, and they declined it. Cinema. Because Alien 3 bombs, that cancelled the TV show.
It's quite a blessing that Elaine, to be honest.
Well, I'm going to have to disappear because I've got a delivery. But I'll speak to you soon. I'm sorry it's been so longer.
No, it's all right. Take care of yourself. Right, you still with us, Steve?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just trying to get this camera working, guys. It looks like it's not used to being on, is it, for a while? So
no, I think
that's why you just gotta buy a Pixel 7a, like I have. I mean, like, look at the crisp quality of this ugly face. Another trailer that another film. Actually, there's 4 films coming out next month that I'm really looking forward to. The first one obviously is Thunderbolts. That had its screening the other night, and I'm hearing a lot of positive things about it. Which has me hyped. Then after that is one I'd say is the one I'm looking forward to the most, if not the second most, and that being Final Destination Bloodline. Because the whole premise of death coming to wipe out an entire family generation from one survivor that shouldn't have survived has me intrigued. Like, it's been over a decade, I think, since we last got a Final Destination film. And the fact that we're getting Tony Todd in this as well, that it might be his last film.
It'll be his last on-screen.
Last on-screen film, yeah. I'm really looking forward to that because I haven't seen Tony Todd in much. Obviously, I've seen him in his work in Star Trek and the Final Destination films, but that's kind of where that ends for me. So I definitely do want to watch Candyman because I've heard good things about that one.
The first one was good. The first one was good, but it's the same as anything really. It's that sets the tone, but then the sequels get watered down, don't they, to make it better for other audiences. Sorry, I don't know if you've just spotted, but my cat's decided to join us there.
I have, yeah.
So if you see it moving around, that's what it is. It's not me chair falling apart. For me, the Final Destination thing is I can't wait for that, for another Final Destination. The later ones got a bit silly in my opinion. We're running out of ideas of how to kill people off by that point.
Yeah, to be honest, out of the 5 films, the only weak one, in my opinion, is the Final Destination, the 4th one. That one just isn't all that great because I love number 1, I love number 2, I especially love number 3 because that's the one that got me into the franchise. And then number 5, it's been a while since I've rewatched number 5, so I'll have to give that one a watch through just to see how I feel about that one. But I love the franchise. It's one of my early memories is seeing the ending to the first one and the decapitation after the train scene. Those are the 2 memories of that film that sticks in my head. And I would have been like,
I think it's
5.
Final Destination number 2 in it that's scarred a generation of driving on the fucking.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like the amount of TikTok videos I see about that, and the fact I've seen it actually happen to someone where the logs came off and went through someone's windshield. Thankfully, they were okay, but it just goes to prove that we are right to be afraid of those log trucks on the road.
Look, one
'Cause they-
killed Meg Ryan in City of Angels. You know,
Yeah, true.
you
Yeah.
know. Elaine's put there. Minecraft has got a lot. It
Oh,
has.
yeah, that's crazy
However,
shit going on.
However, my kids have seen it, and all their mates have seen it, and they were all telling me on Wednesday yesterday when we were at training how good the film actually was. So I don't think it's designed for our generation that grew up with
because like I've seen clips of it obviously on my TikTok for you page, and I just look at it and I'm just like, yeah, that's definitely AI. That script was done by AI. None of these people know what the fuck they're on about. Because like I've been playing Minecraft since beta 1.8, and I'm just looking as like, yeah, that's just basically them going through a tick box of everything that they feel that they need to mention.
There's a creeper, there's a chicken,
yeah,
there's a cow,
there's Flint and Steel,
yeah,
there's an Enderman, there's the chicken jockey, and I'm just like, I really don't care.
On a slightly different subject, what's the franchise that's been, I want to say, shelved? I don't think it's completely pulled, but is it? It's not Scream, is it? Is it Saw?
So
Is there something recently that came out that said that there was going to be another one, and then they've sort of shelved it, or at least shelved it for now.
Well, I think the last one where Jigsaw wasn't dead was
really good.
Yeah, but that was sort of like the death of the series for me. Because you have 4 films where he was the bad guy and you were chasing him down, and he did actually die then, and then somebody else took the mantle up. But then there's only so many times that you could have a copycat murderer taking up the Jigsaw thing, and then all of a sudden he's back. He's not dead. He's back from the dead, and you know we're back to square one again. So.
Yeah. I mean, that's Saw X. You were sort of you were rooting for him because there was a reason that he was doing what he was doing.
Yeah,
like.
But that's it now, though. You knew what he was doing in the first film. So so they announced that in the first film, and then to bring it back again in Saw X, why they were doing it, it was like, yeah, that's your story full. Well, I don't know what other films you need to make.
I don't know. Just there was I think it might have been Saw, but there was definitely one recently where they were supposed to be bringing out another one, and then they've sort of shelved it. But it's like I think it was Saw.
I think it was Saw, and then I think they also said that no, it is still happening.
Have they?
But then you can put that same argument to the other franchise you mentioned there, Scream. We don't need another Scream unless you're going to give us a really dark, gritty, actual slasher film and not one of these kiddie comedy films.
No. I know as well they've got Matthew Lillard back for Scream 7, but I think it's not going to do well, especially after Jenna Ortega leaving over her co-worker being fired for speaking out about Palestine and stuff like that. So I think it's great. Like, granted, I haven't seen a single Scream film, so I don't know what I'm talking about here, but it might be another one of those franchises that just needs to go on hiatus.
Again, yeah, it's another one of those films. So how many different serial killers can wear the same suit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and you can't be that unlucky that you've had 8 different killers who all want to kill kids in the same year in school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, the thing is that it's just money for a minute. These studios, they're just spinning it.
I tell you what, I did read the other day that Sarah Michelle Gellar and Anthony Giles, who plays Giles in the series of Buffy, they're Anthony, what's his face? Shit, what's his surname now? Anyway, they want to bring back a Buffy series where Buffy's the Watcher.
Anthony
Yeah,
Stewart
I believe
Head.
that is happening.
Anthony Stewart Head.
That's the one. Yeah, Anthony
Mm.
Stewart Head. Yeah. So he's going to be the librarian still in the school,
Mm.
and Buffy's going to be the Watcher training the new Slayer.
But that's the same script for any of these things nowadays, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they do a reboot of something. That's generally the go-to.
Yeah, like look what happened in Cobra Kai. They bought both Johnny and Daniel back.
Yeah, but who didn't they bring back in Cobra Kai?
Hilary Swank's character.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she wasn't really part of the Karate Kid series, was she?
Hey, if they're making the 2010 movie canon, they can bring her back.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is,
don't get me started on Cobra Kai.
I love Cobra Kai.
You know,
I love Cobra Kai.
The fucking pizza,
especially that ending. Oh my god, that I was near tears. That was just the perfect ending for me.
So you did a video recently about Karate Kid 2 being overrated or
underrated, because Karate Kid Part 2 is my favorite in the franchise.
I just think the whole franchise is overrated.
Karate Kid Part 2, like, don't get me wrong, I love Part 1. Part 1 and Part 2 is, depending on the day, I'll say which one's better. But Part 2 is always the one that's going to be slightly a bit above. I like Part 3 after my rewatch is like, okay, I can see why some people might not like this. I think I bought into the hype because of, and when I watched it was in around the time that Terry Silver was coming back and I was, or was back. And so I needed to watch that to understand who he was, in a sense.
That's the difference, though, isn't it? I think if Cobra Kai hadn't been
as popular,
if he hadn't made Cobra Kai, then I probably would have gone down the route of maybe first one, second one, third one. But because of the fact that it's gone into such an in-depth story with Cobra Kai and his involvement in it, I think that bumps number 3 up to second for me.
But do you need 5 series of a TV show to bump up a film that you made 30 years ago?
No, I mean that's just a continuation. It's not. I'm just saying because they didn't focus on him in Okinawa, did they? They focused on that where it was, and obviously Terry Silver coming into it. So it's elevated that character, and it's elevated the characters that came with that. And that, I mean, I love Cobra Kai, and if they don't bring out the physical media, I'm going to be so pissed. It's unbelievable.
They are. There's a number of seasons out on physical.
Yes, I have 1 to 5.
Yeah. So hopefully, I think that they definitely should bring season 6 out. Like, as much as I wasn't a fan of getting 5 episodes every couple of months, it still built up the hype, and that's something that is something that I've noticed with streaming services, streaming shows where they drop all the episodes at once. It's not giving you a note, and then be 3 or 4 years before the next season drops. That's kind of killing any momentum that it has.
3 parts for 1 season. What we talking?
I couldn't. That's just Netflix. That's just Netflix keeping your bloody subscription going because you don't want to drop it.
100%. But like I say, I enjoyed the season, the series. I found out today that they're bringing out a physical copy of Yellowstone season 5 because I still need to watch that. Because I got into Yellowstone a couple of
but
months.
That's on Netflix now, though. The whole of Yellowstone in 1984 is only season 4. 1983 and 1923 are on there now as well, aren't they?
Season 5 is on Paramount Plus.
Season 5's amazing, by the way.
I haven't seen season 5 yet.
No.
But I've been really hooked on that show since, in fact, I finished watching those 4 seasons before I watched Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
The last bit of Cobra Kai. It's been absolutely brilliant, Yellowstone.
Yeah, the way
I have to say, though, I am looking forward to Karate Kid Legends. It looks really, really good.
Yeah, the way she kills Jamie, though, in the last season is brilliant.
just little Steve's face dropping at that. Someone has to clip that.
Just used to fucking Steve. He's a knob. It wouldn't surprise me, to be honest with you. I'm just a bit miffed that Kevin Costner has left the show, which that's public knowledge anyway.
Mm.
You know,
It's the way they do that though that surprises me.
Mm.
You know, because he's there 1 minute and gone the next. It's just like they just wipe him out the show completely.
I mean, the point is, I mean, like I say, I've not seen any of Series 5 yet, but I've got. It seems to be that he was always building up to hand that ranch down to. Well, I say the kids, but obviously for different reasons, they've all sort of shown that they're not responsible enough to do it. Apart from his illegitimate, I say not legitimate child, but the lad that he's brought up all the way through it.
Rip.
Yeah.
Hmm.
He's a brilliant character. He is.
Yeah. It's hard to believe he's the one from Pitch Black, though, isn't he? He's the copper in Pitch Black.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So when you watch all those films and he's in it, it's like, hang on a second, that's him. And the way he's changed himself to play Rip, and it's just mannerisms, isn't he? I think everyone should go and buy a denim jacket and a cowboy hat and grow a big beard.
I'm tempted, and I realised I can grow a beard like you, Steve.
Oh, you can, mate, when you hit puberty. Don't worry.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. To be honest, Steve's beard is nothing on mine.
I shave mine every 2 weeks, though, mate, because if I don't, I look like a badger. You can see it there.
I only shave mine every few months, so I'm not due for another one. I got another week or two before I need to go get this trimmed.
Every 2 weeks, the hair goes and the beard gets trimmed back.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing, though. You're already losing your hair, so you shaving is not going to save it.
I go. Look, I've got a triangle here, but I'm going bald gracefully. You know, I'm admitting the fact I'm losing my hair, so shave it all off and just admit it and just go. The last thing I want to do is have like a fucking fire tuck ball patch here and a fucking.
I mean, to be honest, you don't. Yeah, you don't want to look like a ball sack. You know, no hair on the top of your head and only on the scrotum.
He calls me a knob. I can't look like a ball sack as well. You know that was. But no, I wasn't a big fan of 1923. If I'm perfectly honest, I liked 83, and I liked her story in 83, and it's a shame. Have you seen 83, Steve?
No, I've tried to start that one, but I haven't got anywhere. I've only done like the first episode, I think, so far. Because
So
the thing is that with Yellowstone, I was invested in the characters. Like, I know these are prequels to that, but like I was really invested in the characters. Like you say, with what's he called again?
Yellowstone.
No, the big dude.
Rip.
Rip. Like those sort of characters, and then there was the young lad who went off to the other ranch.
Yeah.
You know, those characters were brilliant. So I'm hoping for more of the same, but I've not really got into it yet.
Yeah, 83 is good, but there's a bit towards the end of Yellowstone where she narrates what happens in Yellowstone, so they sort of tie it into that, and 83 is how they end up in where they end up and how they end up with the ranch and stuff like that. So and 23 is how they keep the ranch from what's going on. But yeah, I don't like 23. 23 is like a big major disconnect for me.
Yeah.
Where 83 you could see how that ends up going to be Yellowstone.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I was going to do I was going to do a video. That's a big fucking lie, innit? I wanted to do a video.
It always is. Like it's a cold day in hell when Little Steve posts a video.
Yeah, Snowball's got a better chance to getting out of hell than him posting a video.
Listen, just for a second, Steve. Listen with your ears, yeah? Right. So you bastard. Right. So, subject for me, right, is have you watched Adolescence?
We've got the last episode to watch.
I haven't seen it yet.
Right. So, are you enjoying it so far?
I am. I think we've just got through the episode. It's like any of these series. There's two filler episodes in the middle of it, and we've just got through the one where she's giving him the chat in the prison. Yeah, in the prison. It's just those two in the room, and she's feeling scared because he keeps flipping.
So, I know
I
we
think
had
that to me is a filler episode. She jumps 7 months down the timeline, and then you get an hour of him talking to her.
Are you appreciating the camera work that's gone into this?
Why are you looking at the camera work that's gone into it? I'm appreciating the writing that's gone into it.
Right, so-
I think it's finally given. I don't think it's given the Andrew Tate argument the light it needs to be given. I think that they're spinning that as the bad side of what has happened here.
Yeah.
But I think it's great that they've brought it to the forefront that that's how people are thinking. You know, the lads are thinking they've got to have acted in a particular way, and the girls are going to think they've got to have acted in a particular way, and you know, and try outdo each other. But the camera work on it, I haven't noticed anything special, if I'm honest.
So obviously it's the fact that it's the one take situation. It's the same people that did Boiling Point.
Yeah.
And obviously we had that conversation a long time ago about the fact that I really enjoy Boiling Point. I like I appreciate how much work has gone into everybody knowing the lines, all that sort of stuff. Well, obviously this takes it to another level because I think the third episode, maybe or first or second, where there's all the kids involved in the school. Like you've got hundreds and hundreds of extras all having to do certain things, and I think they had 10 attempts on each one. That was the thing this time. They had 10 attempts on each episode, and it tells you, I think, at the end how long, what shot they got it in. So that's for me. That's what I liked about it. But this goes back to the same sort of stuff as before, where I've said I think it's becoming more and more at the minute where you've got these programs, these movies, they all seem to be your own interpretation at the end, and I just think sometimes it can be quite lazy because I want to watch a film and watch a story and have a start, a middle, and an end, and a lot of the fashion at the minute seems to be to end things.
It's like Shutter Island, though, wasn't it? That was like one of the first real films to sort of do that. You don't know what they've done with him at the end, you know. You don't know if they've killed him. They don't know if you've operated on him. You don't know if they've just locked him away and he starts again. It's sort of like it's up to you what happens with that.
They did that direct. They did that in your face because he literally turns around and he says his lines about, you know, dying as a good man or blah 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 blah. Like that was set up to do that. A lot of these, I mean, Adolescence, I think, was a brilliant TV program, series, whatever you want to call it, mini series. I loved anything that Stephen Graham's in. I think he's an amazing actor. But it's one of those where there is no real end to it. Like,
well, thanks for ruining the last episode. We haven't.
No, definitely no, because it's still worth watching. What I'm saying is that a lot of the movies that I'm watching recently seems to be very much in line with a lot of these TV shows where it's open to interpretation. Like, I don't know, there's not much more they could do at the end of that, don't get me wrong. But with a lot of the movies, it's literally like a blank screen. Thank you very much. Now,
Well, that's because they don't know if they're going to bring a sequel, a prequel.
go away. The idea is they want you to go away and talk about your interpretations of it, and I think it's lazy writing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They don't know in 5 years' time are we going to get a prequel to it, a sequel to it, a movie that's alongside it. So you're one of the extras, and all of a sudden you've got your own 3-hour movie alongside what's got on there. Cloverfield did the same though, didn't it? And look, Cloverfield spun 3 new movies off the back of that, or 2 new movies off the back of Cloverfield. And it was only when we got Paradox that you realised what was going on.
Yeah.
You know, that's why Cloverfield and Cloverfield Lane were two different sort of monsters. One was a monster, one was an alien, and it was only Paradox that said, actually, you've got three timelines here that are running all at the same time.
I understand about leaving things open and stuff, and I get that. But like I say, it just seems to be more and more of the stuff that I watch. And your average of movies are 2.5 hours now, and you're going through them, and then you're getting no payoff at the end with a lot of these movies because they want you to interpret your own ending. And it just, like I say, it's just a bugbear for me.
I just hate the ones that we're getting at the moment that you sat there for 2.5 hours and someone says a quick one-liner and all of a sudden the credits start. And you're like, is that it? Well,
yeah.
Have you actually built into the storyline yet?
Never starts going.
Yeah. You've got the big build up to everything. You've got all the suspenseful music and all the hugging and all of that sort of stuff. And then all of a sudden, gone. And you're like, right, okay.
Yeah, there's no payoff. I'm honest to God, I'm trying to think of what I watched recently, but there was something I watched I was really, really, really pissed off with because I was like, you know what, that was a waste of my time. And it's not very often I do that with movies and TVs because I like to think, you know, people are putting effort in, but it just seems to me like they don't need to put an ending in. Baz has put on here.
I was just going to come to it, but I was just about to come to his question, but I didn't want to ask it while you were trying to figure out what film really disappointed you.
Have you watched the latest series of Black Mirror?
No.
I haven't even seen any episode of it.
Good God, people. Mate, good God. You need to watch Black Mirror. Every episode's completely different. I love Inside Number 9, and it's very much like that. It's the Twilight Zone of the modern generation. But it was really, really good, and they've really done it really well this year. But that's another thing I've only got like 4 series of because they stopped bringing out physical media after that.
Yeah, that's kind of why I don't collect The Simpsons because I think it stopped after season 20, producing physical media. So I just look at like, obviously I could, because who doesn't love The Simpsons to a certain extent? But I'm a completionist in that regard. So if I'm collecting it, I kind of want to have it all, except for Family Guy. Family Guy, I know where I'm stopping. And that's after they kill Brian. That's where I'm like, okay, that's me done. Show gets shit after here.
I think I'm up to 19 on Family Guy.
Yeah, that's the most recent season.
Is it really?
Yeah, season 19, yeah. I think season 20 is out this year. I'm not 100% sure. But I know both Family Guy, American Dad, and The Simpsons have been picked up for another 4 seasons at Fox.
Wow. But Fox, is it Fox that's owned by Disney though now?
It is, but it's kind of like it was up in the air on whether or not Disney was going to revive any of these or continue on. So a lot of them are now just on streaming instead of airing on television.
I don't think Disney are going to take Family Guy, American Dad, anything like that. I think they're just dead in the water now, aren't they? They're not going to go with that.
Yeah, considering the fact that they've gotten 4 more seasons, because granted, they are popular. Like I know for me, Family Guy stopped being funny, and I haven't really given a rat's ass about it. Like I barely watch any of the newer episodes. I might watch like a review of like the most recent stuff, but that's as far as I'll go. American Dad is funny. It's definitely a show that I should watch a lot more of instead of just on the odd occasion.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, even like The Simpsons, like I've heard a lot of people say that's in its new golden era. It's starting to get good again. But like I grew up on the era where it was, it was shit apparently, and I enjoyed it. There was a lot of good episodes in, that like I remember when I first watched The Principal and the Pauper, I didn't think it was terrible. I thought it was a good episode. Now that I'm a lot older, I reflect that, like it's still a good episode up until the point where, because the show has to keep the status quo, that they just shoehorned in the ending rather quickly. and then just agreed to never speak of it again.
So
Yeah.
let's address Baz's question in the chat. Now, obviously, we've had a lot of young generated things, as in Luke Skywalker in Star Wars and people like that. The de-aging process. We've had a lot of characters that have been thrown into there where the actors have been dead for years.
Didn't that start in that, really?
Yeah.
It was Rogue One that started it. With Tarkin and Princess Leia.
So it's like you could do all of that type of stuff. Now, the characters sort of appearing out of nowhere and stuff. We've already had AI generated films. That one of my favorite films of all times, Final Fantasy Spirits Within. You know, the computer generated one, and then obviously the Steve's going to hate me here, but the Starship Troopers rip-offs of Invasion and Hero. You know, they're quite good. Those computer generated ones. Where would you stand though with that point of Bruce Lee being in the Expendables? Because I've just watched all 4 of those films recently. They've all appeared on Netflix recently, haven't they? So where do you find bringing these so-called action stars that have been dead for 40 years into something like that?
I don't know. I mean, it's a nice surprise, I would imagine. It, like you say, it's almost become expected in a Star Wars franchise series, or you're expecting to see somebody come back that you wouldn't usual. But it wouldn't bother me too much, to be honest with you. I think we can all tell when it's CGI'd. I think there's only a handful of really good examples nowadays. Where they've done it really well. But it's another cheap novelty in it for them. Yeah. It depends on on someone like Bruce Lee's estate, really, as to whether or not they would allow it to happen. But I wouldn't be too bad. I wouldn't think it's too bad, to be honest with you. It's becoming the norm more and more, and I think that's the reason why I'd originally brought up Black Mirror is because there's an episode of Black Mirror about sort of you're signing your rights away with these streaming companies, and it's all based on this one woman's life and everything that's going on in her life. They have somebody acting it out exactly how a day goes, and it's especially with AI nowadays, it wouldn't be too far-fetched for that sort of thing to happen. And I think having some of these older stars on it can only be good for them in the respect of sort of bringing people to these people are. But
so Michael, you can just imagine the AI version of Steve's life, can't you? Well, I'm going to do a video today. Nah, fuck it, can't be asked.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah. It's 30 seconds, isn't it? Lou, get the kettle on. I'm going to make a video upstairs. Fuck it, done.
My opinion is going to be slightly different than Little Steve's. I hate it. I think doing that, using AI to deep fake someone back from the dead who don't consent to it.
Sorry to interrupt there, Michael. Speaking of someone that looks like a character from Star Wars.
Shut up.
Hey, there he is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Two Steves and Michael, Bully a Little Child.
Shut up.
He's about 35 now.
Sorry, Michael, you were halfway through a point about them ruining your childhood.
Yeah, like it's I don't like it. Like I remember years ago, before like AI became popular, where this movie company were trying to find the lead for a film and they couldn't, and then they settled on James Dean, and then they were going to use AI to bring him back to be this lead character. I don't think that should. I think they should like maybe recast like the guy that they had standing in for Luke in The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett looks an awful lot like Mark Hamill.
Mm-hmm.
They should have just used him instead of trying to CG on his face. Like I get it, fans will get upset about that, but these people aren't going to be around for long. Like I know, just before James Earl Jones passed away, he signed his rights for Star Wars to use his voice forever, and I hate that. Like I was thinking, it's only been a year.
Katie Sackhoff's done it. Katie Sackhoff's done it, hasn't she? For Bo-Katan, they're allowed to use her likeness and her voice for whenever they're using the character of Bo-Katan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Wow.
and I remember when Fallout came out last year. Towards the end, where we see a de-aged character, and it just looks so awful. Like I might be singing a different tune in however many years it takes to actually perfect it. But as it stands right now, it's not good. I think they should just hold off on it until the technology gets good. But even then, I don't know, it kind of feels scummy. That's just me. I'd like to, if they're going to bring back like a popular character in the series, just recast them. There's no harm in it. Like Doctor Who's done that. Like they've recasted the first Doctor twice already since Bill Hartnell's passing. They did the same again with Patrick Troughton for the when they put out An Adventure in Space and Time. There's no harm in it in having a recast, but trying to do that is just it puts me off. Especially when it doesn't look right.
You two have grew up in a time where they've CGI'd the likes of Captain Scarlet, Thunderbirds, a few other bits.
No, I grew up on the puppets of Thunderbirds. That's how I grew up with it.
Yeah, so Luke probably didn't realise that he did puppet Thunderbirds. He grew up with the CGI version.
No, the only time Luke uses puppets is it's because they're his only friends.
Yeah. Mummy, I want to go to the big
Just shut up, man. Jesus Christ. Believe me now.
Oh God! Right, yeah. So
Never gets old.
Where do you stand on the CGI stuff, Luke? Because, like you say, your whole cinematic experience is on CGI generated movies and characters for the last 10 years, hasn't it? So you've probably, when you watch a film from like the 80s and 90s where it's people wearing dodgy latex masks, then where do you sit with that?
I don't mind it.
Right, thanks for coming, Luke. Bye-bye.
No, I don't mind the CGI now. I know that sometimes it goes over the top of it. They go over the top of it, like they did with Daredevil episode 1. They went over the top.
Yeah.
The CGI on that. I don't really know.
I think it is getting better, but it's very obvious still that it's CGI. And you've only got the big companies with the big budgets that are being able to sort of put the money into having it look semi-decent, really. I think that's
right.
One of
the CGI and animatronics for Jurassic Park and the CGI and animatronics for Jurassic Park Dominion. Which one was better?
For me, because I know I've done a video recently, last month, where I talk about CGI versus practical effects and which do I prefer. And I'm always going to prefer practical effects because they just feel better. Like it feels like it's done more with love than just paying and again like back in the early 2000s when CGI was at its infancy to a certain extent, it looks better than half of the slop that's coming out this year and in the past couple of years. And that's because these movie companies aren't giving these animators enough time to do it. They're putting them under excruciating deadlines to try to get this finished. And because of that, with the likes of in Civil War with Tony's head on the Iron Man body, it looked so fucking awful, and still does. It puts me off that scene, like seeing that like every time. The fact that it's not like him in like a proper suit like it has been in the past, like the practical suit. And how even She-Hulk, like that's the whole reason I kind of stopped watching because I'm just looking. I was like, dear God, this could have been so much better if they'd given them enough time to do it. Like, because I was interested in She-Hulk. I barely knew anything about the character other than how she got started. And I was looking forward to it because I love the actress who played her. I watched her in Orphan Black.
Do you know what? To be fair, I still love the She-Hulk series.
I enjoyed it to a certain extent.
I think it's one of the better Marvel series they've done. The She-Hulk ones.
Yeah. But I like give me a practical film over CG any day, and I'll be happy. Like if I notice that it's a practical done with practical effects, I'm like, ooh, that kind of bumps it up for me in like terms of rating.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, Luke, what are you after drinking to give yourself such a sour face?
He's just drunk a bottle of piss, hasn't he? He's forgot his piss. He looks like he's under a bunk bed in a static caravan and he's pissed in the bottle so he doesn't have to
I'm on a holiday, that's why. I'm on a holiday.
Leave it alone.
I had sand in my mouth, that's why.
Yeah,
sure.
Sand.
Do you always eat sand?
You're not meant to eat the sand.
Where he just keeps putting things in his mouth. That's what it is.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, he is used to putting things in his mouth.
Steve, shut your mouth. I swear.
No, I don't know. The whole, like you say, the She-Hulk argument. I love the She-Hulk character, and if you know about it, it was sort of relatively close to what they were going for. The two other series that I enjoyed of Marvel was WandaVision and Hawkeye.
Yeah, those two I really love. It's actually WandaVision that kind of got me into the MCU properly.
The rest of them I haven't really found enjoyable, and I'm not.
I like Loki 1 and 2.
Yeah, I haven't rushed to watch the Captain America film, and I don't think
I like that one. I went to see it when it came out. I liked it.
And I don't think I'm going to rush to see the Thunderbolts because it's not really Thunderbolt Ross, is it? So it's
no, but it's good. Well, I hope it.
Well, from what I've heard, it's like a return to form properly for Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of naysayers are like that I've seen that are like more naysayers of the more recent runs.
But it's just
of the movies are singing sprays.
It took us 8 movies to get there, though.
So and that is the issue. Like that's why now I cherry pick what I want to watch in terms of Marvel because it's just getting too much. Like soon we're going to need to watch at least 50 movies, 10 different TV series just to fucking keep up.
They've sort of slowed it down a bit now, haven't they? They've started to.
They needed to.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they were saying.
To be fair. I think
it's going to be 2 or 3 movies a year and a TV series a year.
Yeah,
to sort of back it up. But I want them to tie in Agents of Shield, to something and bring back like Daisy and bring back people that were in there, like Mac and things like that, and just tell us what's going on with them because that started off as being canon.
Yeah.
And then about 3 seasons in, they went, you know what, we can't keep producing a TV series at detriment to the films because they didn't want to cross over the storylines too much.
Yeah. No, but it still can.
Well, during season 1, they had an episode that was relating for Dark World. And all it was that the ether, which was the red power crystal.
Yeah.
Appeared in Dark World, and
wasn't Nick Fury in it as well?
but they referenced it in Agents of Shield, but they didn't want to reference it until after the film was out. So there was like a month's worth of break between episodes being released, so people had a chance to watch the film, so they can understand the throwaway line in a TV series. So now, but now they've linked storylines in films to a complete series of programs. Then you're like, right, okay, this is where I've now got to watch 50 hours of content elsewhere to understand what's happening in a 2-hour film.
Have you watched Daredevil or not?
I'm about 6 episodes in Daredevil.
Are you enjoying it?
I've just finished the Punisher episode. The
Did you like
first
episode
one. I'm enjoying it. I'm just not enjoying his internal struggle that he's having to become Daredevil again.
I don't like it.
It's dragging out. It's dragging out for me now, where he's, you know.
Can I tell you the spoiler?
Go on.
Oh, I can.
Yeah, go on. See, that's through you now, hasn't it? Come on. But no, but I'm not enjoying this. I'm not.
Has he become Daredevil yet?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're on the episode that he's become Daredevil.
Yeah.
Did you see him fight Moose?
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen him where you think he's killed Muse, when he's rescued the girl. I've seen him talking to Frank. I've saw him talking to Frank Castle. I'm at the point now where Frank's telling him, "You've got to decide what you want to do. You have a he's retired, but I'm leaving it up to you."
What do you mean?
Well, Frank, there's an episode where he's talking to Frank in like a locker room.
Yeah, that's a 4.
Yeah, so I'm a couple of episodes past that, but this is what I'm saying. He's gone to the Punisher to ask permission to do what he wants, what he can do. But then he's still arguing if he's going to do it, and it's just pissing me off.
No. He didn't go to Punisher to ask permission. He went to the Punisher to ask if he could help, not for permission.
Yeah, but it's like I've stopped what I'm doing because at the end of the Netflix series, him and Frank agreed that they were going to sort of take a different way of life, and and it is sort of his redemption. Can I come back and do what I'm doing? But I need your help to do it. And Frank's like, no, I'm not doing it.
Did you know why? Did you know why he? Do you know why he gives up the cow?
Yeah.
Why?
But I'm just not enjoying the whole torment thing. And to find out Foggy's coming back in season 2.
Spoilers! I didn't know that.
It's all on the fucking internet, you knob.
Oh,
go on Twitter once in a while.
You're the only one that doesn't know that Foggy comes back in season 2.
I haven't even watched the show, and I don't even know he's coming back.
I knew that, really.
No, you fucking didn't. You're just trying to look cool for the audience.
Yeah. In front of
trying to wear your big boy pants.
Yeah, in front of the millions and millions of people that watch our video, you're trying to look cool instead of asking your mum's permission to stay up late to watch Netflix.
Jesus, goddamn! Right. I joined this stream to see if I could talk to you all night. Just annoy me.
That's all you do, Steve. You're just Luke. You're all talk and no bite.
But no,
it's Michael.
But we're going. But just go back to what I'm saying though. A lot of these like Disney shows and a lot of these reboot TV shows are all about the internal. It's like the end of Arrow, and the end of Flash and stuff like that. It's the fight that they have to continue doing what they're doing because they're struggling with decisions they made in the past, and I'm getting bored of that. Just give me a show where look, the original Daredevil run, up until the Defenders, he was Daredevil. He was out there. He was kicking ass. How many times did you see him beat 30 people up without questioning it? You know, that scene in
He's
that
got-
first run when he's in the prison and he's fighting his way out the prison, that was brilliant. But this one just doesn't seem to have that same tone for me.
It does.
Yeah, well, it might do in the episodes they haven't seen.
You're
but
not. Yeah, but do you like Daredevil then or not?
yeah, I like Daredevil.
Like
I like
character.
the character. But
Mm.
the first couple of episodes that I've seen, like saying we're about 5 or 6 in, the first couple of episodes hasn't sort of hooked me to want. I'm not compelled to go and watch the rest of them as soon as it drops, you know, because it's one of these weekly episodic things, and I've not been. I'm now about 3 or 4 episodes behind, I believe, so I'm not compelled to watch it as soon as it drops. However, there's other series that I was watching where it was like I couldn't wait for it to drop, and I was straight in there and was watching it.
I was going to say,
She-Hulk.
I thought you got up 15 minutes before you went to bed just to make sure that you can sit and watch all these series at 4 o'clock
Yeah.
in the morning.
Yeah, so I'm just not compelled to go and watch it.
Right.
And I
I
think
didn't like She-Hulk.
No, but I don't think and the Matt Murdock character that we got in She-Hulk as well, because bearing in mind it was there, and I don't think that is come across in this Daredevil as either that or the original Netflix Daredevil.
That's what I
He's
didn't like
something-
about it.
Sorry?
The thing I didn't like about She-Hulk, he was too much of a comedy.
Yeah, but we've not got either the She-Hulk Daredevil or the Marvel Netflix Daredevil. We've got some
We got
Daredevil in the
we got the
middle.
Marvel Netflix Daredevil. What are you on about?
Yeah, but he's not the same persona. He's not the
He's
same.
the same person.
Yeah, I know he's the same person, Luke, but I'm a different person when I'm around people that I like compared to when I'm on tube with you lot. You know?
I'm going to leave
But
in
I'm
a
the
bit.
exception to that rule.
I
I'm the only one Big Steve likes here. He just tolerates these other
Oh,
fuckers.
shut up, Michael. Shut your mouth, Michael.
Fucking make me, you little twit.
But you
Because
see,
Ireland.
I like to fucking see you try and swim over here.
I'm
All I gotta do is just sneeze on you and you fucking go
I'll tell my dad
right
to
into
do
cows.
Luke's
Anyway,
sponsored
so there you
by
go.
Disney.
So there you go. You've got Kingpin on this screen, and you've got the wannabe Daredevil on this screen. That'll be
Oh,
a fight.
shut up. Just shut up. Shut up.
But what
I'm gonna
I'm
leave.
saying,
Bye.
what I'm saying though, is that somewhere in between, we've got a character that we all want to see in another series.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
And I don't think that character's come across in the episodes that I've seen so far. He might come across later on in the series. I don't know, but like I say, I'm not in any rush to watch the missing episodes that I haven't seen already. Have you guys seen any of it?
I haven't watched any
No.
Daredevil.
Oh.
Okay. That brought that conversation to an abrupt ending.
My neck hurts.
Your neck hurts.
My neck hurts.
I'm just
Hang
gonna
on,
keep my
guys.
mouth
I've
shut.
got my frozen.
There's just so much I could say.
No, it's like I've had
No.
sunburn.
Look,
I
you
got
just keep
sunburn on my
walking
neck,
into these
but,
things. You need to stop walking into these things. That's why your neck hurts. To keep giving us ammo.
I'm going to come over there and shut that camera. And
Again, all I have to do is just look at you funny and you go running to cows. Then, oh, mommy,
Right,
don't let
that's
the
it,
big
no
thing
more,
not hurt
no
me.
more
Where?
Stop picking on the kid now. But
I'm going to have to set these two up, Steve.
oh,
He
thank
goes
you,
to-
Steve.
goes to
Thank
bed
you
in
for sticking
10
up for me. Thank you, Steve.
He goes to bed in 10 minutes. Leave him alone.
Oh, shut up.
No, he's already it's way past his bedtime already. His bedtime is 7:30.
So, apart from Daredevil, then, Luke, what have you been watching recently?
Michael telling me off.
Have you watched anything recently, Luke?
I watched watched Coronation Street.
Oh, brilliant!
You're taking the piss,
Yeah.
now, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I literally watched it the other day.
Ladies,
I really
and
enjoyed it.
ladies and gentlemen, we were a serious movie and entertainment talk show until he's brought up Coronation Street.
Oh,
and there
come on!
goes the viewers.
What? I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just saying what I watched. Little Steve asked what I watched, and I told him.
He's not lying.
So technically,
did
Little
ask.
Steve, but not mine.
So, have you guys picked up anything good recently? I know, Steve, you've got your Game Boy to hand, and Michael, you haven't. Luke, you seem to put out a pickup video every week about your train journeys and stuff like that. What's been your favourite pickup as of late?
What are you talking about?
You?
Jesus, the poor lad's gone deaf now.
I know, yeah. Every
No,
other
but I didn't
video
get-
on
What do
every
you
other
mean?
video on Luke's channel is like I'm now in a different town on a different train and I've picked this up, and he can't tell me what his favourite pickup's been.
That's not me. That's not me. That's my brother. That's not me.
Well, you're still with
Oh,
him.
so you're just admitted to leeching content from your brother.
That's not
Wow.
me. I'm on a holiday.
Wow.
Yeah, your little brother's
So is none of your content original then?
All right. My content is very original. Thank you very much.
for your brother.
How? You're leeching content off of your brother. You ask your mom to buy your things. So what's original about it?
Michael, shut your mouth.
Fucking make me then. But no, I'm only messing. I'm only messing.
Hey up, Greenie. Thank you for joining us, love. Is that Luke's? Is that Luke's microphone giving us the feedback?
I believe so.
He's probably had enough of us. Mike taking the piss. Now his microphone's kicking back.
Yeah. He's just YouTube's just realised he doesn't make his own content, so it's muted him.
Oh bloody hell!
I don't know, Steve. Apart from your Game Boy, what else have you picked up? What was your?
I've shown you privately, Anna, but they were my big pickups the other month.
Ooh.
So they were both in EX, and I had to get the two of them. So really,
Luke's gone.
with them. I don't know. I definitely don't think any of you lads might. Maybe Steve will know what this one is, but this is Trick or Treat. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
In the 90s, it was like proper off the wall. Really cool film. So with Ozzy Osbourne in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I picked that up when I saw it online.
Well, I'll tell you what I have got. I was on Whatnot the other day, and I've picked something.
Sure, yeah, as well, Steve.
I mean, when aren't you on Whatnot?
Oh, do you know what? Do you know what though, Michael? I deleted Whatnot, and I haven't been on it for a while. And then I came. I flirt
every month, Mike.
I flirt in and out of it, right? And I picked this up, and I haven't opened it yet. So.
Also, I just want on the record. I don't hate Luke. I'm just messing with him. He's a great lad. Go subscribe to his channel if you aren't already.
Yeah,
Luke, I think your mum's messaged Michael. He's just been apologising to you.
Oh, thank you, Michael.
It's the only time you'll ever. It's the only time I'll ever say it. So even now that you're here, I'm not going to repeat it. You'll just have to watch it back. So
Can you say what you were saying, Michael? Please.
No, just up yours.
No. Just say what you were saying.
No.
He said you were a good lad, but you were a pain in the ass.
That's the basic gist of it.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve,
Stop,
I
Steve.
You know that. Go on, you were saying, mate. What have you picked up? You were saying something before we.
I don't know. I'm trying to open the box. So you guys
So
carry on.
once he's doing that, I'll show off the things that I've gotten because pickings up in Slim where I am. I might need to take a trip up to Dublin soon. Because I only have like 4 things in the past 2 weeks. One of which is something I showed on Luke's stream last week, and that is the complete Casanova series with David Tennant. I picked this up because I've been kind of interested to see what it was like, because this is how Russell thought of David Tennant for the role of the Doctor. So I'll give it a gander, see how it goes. Because I think it's only 3 episodes.
That's not the. Oh, it wasn't Casanova, was it? That Peter Dinklage did. That was something else, wasn't it?
God of Science. Thank you, buddy, for that.
It might have been, but then the day after I was on Luke's stream, I picked up this National Treasure 2 DVD steelbook. Even though I already have the film on YouTube, not on YouTube, on a fucking Blu-ray, I decided to pick it up because I'll just throw in my Blu-rays in here eventually, and taking out the discs. There's not much artwork behind them, unfortunately. But yeah, it's a film from my childhood that I remember both, enjoying both films. But it's been nearly 10, 20 years since I actually last sat down and watched them, so I need to do that. A film, a classic creature feature that I have not seen, but I seen the original there on DVD and CEX for like a $5. It's like, okay, I kind of want to see what that's like, and that is from the Universal Horror Collection, the creature from the Black Lagoon, the OG one. So it comes with this slip, which obviously underneath is the exact same. So I've never seen it before. I'm somewhat familiar with it to a certain extent. Like I'm familiar with the look of the creature, but that's about it. So I'll have to give this a shot at some point. It's going to be on my massive backlog of films. And then today's pickup was season 3 of South Park, because I'm pretty sure I don't have that in my collection. I'm about to turn around to figure out if I do or not. You'll have to do something. So, but that's basically all I've picked up this week in the past 2 weeks. Oh wow, still on me for some reason. I just fucking noticed that now whilst I was looking. Yeah, I don't have season 3 in my collection, so at least I didn't go double dipping on that front. Why are these here?
Do you know what I've done? I've been buying parts for doing cars and stuff like that, right? So I was on Temu and I bought myself some new drill bits, and I thought, you know what, there was a great deal for 50 drill bits for £1.50 or something.
Can I just say, right, this sounds like a really good quality drill bits.
Yeah, so 50 drill bits for £1.50. Unknown to myself, they were all the same fucking drill bit. I've got hundreds of like 1 mil drill bits. Look, fucking.
Well, at least we know if one breaks, you got 49 more.
Well, yeah, I've got 49 more or 149 more. Look, they just keep coming. However, they have to come in handy though for me to open up the package.
That Germany is that he's going to take 49 of them to do that one hole you're trying to do.
Yeah, I'll probably snap about 50 of them.
I think Queenie's there on it. She says drill bits from Temu is always going to end badly.
Yeah. Right, so I was on Whatnot the other day.
Right, buy some drill bits.
Not buying drill bits, no. Can you buy drill bits on Whatnot? Anyway,
Probably.
so,
You can sell pretty much anything on there.
Now, I'm a big, as you know, I like my Star Trek, and I'm a big DS9 fan. So I've ended up with a DS9 pin.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah. Now they're about 25 quid to buy now.
Mm.
Wow,
I've
really?
got a Star Trek Delta.
From the original series.
Yeah. That one is the release of when they did the original Star Trek. The first roadshow they did when they had all the bridges and stuff.
Oh yeah, the Star Trek Experience.
Yeah, so that was one of the original release pins.
Nice.
And then another original series Delta.
With the Pi logo, yeah.
Yep. And then I was at the boot sale with Car Boot Chris a couple of weeks ago, and I picked up some more crap. A nice holographic Star Trek badge. So let's zoom out. So that's Star Trek, the expedition in Edinburgh.
Oh, nice.
Some like the Generations Toys catalog, a couple of trading cards, and these look like they're do you know the mobile phone top-up cards?
Oh yeah, the call cards, yeah.
Yeah, so I've got a couple of them, a couple of Star Trek ones.
Yeah, they're actually pretty cheap enough. I found someone selling a first contact one for like €1 on eBay. I keep meaning to buy it, but
then
I'm lazy.
What I did see in the pack and what it did draw me to it was another Delta.
Oh, I have that one. That's from Wish.
Yeah.
That is. It was used in All Good Things, and every time they depicted the future, but it became canon thanks to Star Trek Prodigy.
Yeah, because it's Janeway's badge. Yeah. This is from 1994.
Queenie said, whose stream was selling pin badges?
JM Collectibles, was it?
Yeah, quite possibly. He does. Yeah. He basically does a bit of everything. Is it JD or JM? JD Collectibles.
It's a JD Collectibles.
Yeah, mostly.
See, I'm worried about starting buying stuff off of Whatnot because I don't want to become addicted like both of you, and end up spending more money than I would like.
Did you say you don't want to become addicted or don't want to become a dickhead?
I don't want to become addicted. You deaf idiot.
That's not what knows. Normally a dickhead.
Yeah.
But to be fair, the only dickhead is Little Steve.
Oh, thanks, mate.
But yeah, that was probably the latest thing. Oh, and this one. Let me show you this one as well. Do you know, because I work in Liverpool now. Right.
Yeah.
So
You're a Scouse now, aren't you, Steve?
He might be, considering the fact that his arse is half hanging out when it gets up and down.
It's not as bad as yours, mate, when you were bending over your cupboard before. So where I work, we're next door. The street is next to Bold Street, so it's got like a Forbidden Planet on Bold Street, and it's a CEX.
That's not a good idea for you, is it?
No, and CEX is in Central Station, and yeah. So working in Liverpool is not good for me. However, I went into Forbidden Planet one day for me lunch and got him.
Ooh.
That is awesome.
Do you want to hazard a guess? How much?
250.
150.
300.
No.
€80? £80?
25 quid.
Wow.
They were brand new in to Forbidden Planet, but they're the McFarlane statues.
Mm-hmm.
And it's absolutely brilliant. I don't know if the camera's doing it justice, but just the detail and the
25 quid. What you've told her it's cost?
No, it's 25 quid. That's what it was.
The perks of being a single man, not having to answer to anyone with my spending purchases.
Just you backing it up, innit? You're like,
I don't have to answer to Lana what I spend my money on. As long as I've already given the housekeeper money for the month, I can spend it on what I want.
Sure. Well, just use that excuse, why don't you?
Yeah, we're not all whipped like little Steve.
Mm.
Yeah, whatever.
Actually, here's a question for both of you, I suppose. Have you bought the Oblivion remaster that dropped a few days ago?
No.
What's that?
Yeah,
The Elder
Elder
Scroll.
Scrolls. Yeah, they remastered it in Unreal Engine 5 from the ground up. Added in some new voice lines, changed picked a few things where you can now run and stuff, and it looks really, really good. Like it's on like the newer Xboxes, PlayStation 5, PC. So that's kind of getting me like, oh, maybe I should get an Xbox Series S just to be able to play it. I'm gonna have to get it anyway, of course, for Gears of War E-Day whenever that comes out.
See, the thing is, Queenie, is that I do go on Temu, and I have bought quite a bit of stuff off Temu. So
Are they all the same stuff?
it's more like torches and stuff like that I need, and you get them quite cheap. However, we are going Comic Con in Liverpool on the 4th of May, so yeah, and I'm thinking that's going to be an expensive day.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. Yeah, since we've last been on an live stream, I've been to my first ever Comic Con back in November. I think I went in with like €200. I came out with 78, and that's lucky. I thought I was going to spend the whole 200.
With 200 and come out with 78p.
Yeah. Like but they're doing another one again in November that I'm going to go to for sure. I just need to buy my tickets. And to be fair, they're like pretty cheap enough. They're like 20 quid, less than 20 quid for a ticket. And got like comics, some Star Trek 3D printed badges, these Gears of War cog tags, as well. They had the same vendor that bought that stuff from had very detailed masks from Skyrim, but also Jim Carrey's mask for like €30 each.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know if you can see up there though the on the top of the wardrobe. There's my helmets and my masks. So I've got the Magneto
I see
helmet.
the Stormtrooper one. That's about as much as I can see.
Is it? Okay, hang on a second then.
But one cool thing that I did buy from the Comic Con as I go to grab it here. This is probably younger than Steve. Oh, Magneto. Cool.
Like,
Like,
in this one, yes, have you, Steve?
yeah, he's too busy texting away.
Don't you look like a tit?
Have I bought a little Steve mask?
That's amazing. That. I thought Magneto had a neck.
Well, I was trying to hold it up because it sort of swings around a little bit. But yeah, I got it in the boot sale at Runcorn.
How much did that
No
cost
way.
you?
30 quid. 30 quid I got it for.
That's not too bad.
That's amazing.
And
That's
they're like 90 quid, 100 quid to buy new. So yeah, I got that when we were at the boot sale at Runcorn when I went with Chris.
Yeah, one of the cool things that I got at the Comic Con that I went to was this 1977 Kenner Darth Vader. Obviously, he's missing the cape and the lightsaber, but for €10, can't complain. In the condition that he's in, regardless if he's missing things. Like that was my goal when I went to that convention, was to buy one Kenner Star Wars figure and end up buying 4 other Star Wars figures that aren't Kenner related, but they're still ones that I wanted, and they were all pretty cheap enough.
Yeah. Luke's apologised. He says his StreamYard's been playing up, so he's disappeared. But Luke, if you're still watching us, mate, when you get back home or whatever, we'll get you back on. You're more than welcome to join us at any time.
See what Queenie's put there.
Yeah. Now the anime shops for me, they're sort of losing the feel for me because they're all like Hotel Academia and My Hero Academia and Chainsaw. They've lost all the sort of feel for what anime was. It's all commercialized now.
Yeah.
Commercialized stuff. So, but Mike next door, he went to Japan and he went to the Gundam factory. And he spent an absolute fortune.
You would, especially not just in like the Gundam factory, but in Japan in total.
Yeah, but for some of the stuff that he was buying over there, it's a couple of £100 over here. So that shows what the big sort of push on the anime is. And the only really anime that I'm into at the moment was Attack on Titan, and I've got all of them on Blu-ray, and I've got all the pops and stuff like that. But I do need to get back into my Gundam. I need to get back into some of the earlier Voltron series and stuff like that. Now they're all streaming again.
Yeah, like the last anime I watched was Dragon Ball Daima, which I fucking loved. I was watching that week to week when it came out, and as Toriyama's last bit of media that he's ever going to make, because he sadly passed away before it came out, was beautiful. The art, the animation was amazing. He his fan service to the max. Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, Super Saiyan 4 Goku being canon now, and a completely different design with the big monkey Unga Bunga arms. I got a lot of flack for it as it was coming out, but I still loved it. And it'll be interesting to see. Excuse me. It'll be interesting to see where things go now. We're still waiting on new chapters to come out eventually from Toritaro.
Netflix have got some good ones, and the Buku series is quite good. They've got that. Is it Gods of War? Where all the Egyptian gods and the Greek gods are all fighting in the arena. There's a few on there, but the Tekken Blood, is it Blood Oath or Blood something? That was really, really good. That was about Jin going to find what's happened with his family and stuff like that, and ends up fighting in the Tekken tournament. That was quite good. They've put out there the Street Fighter ones as well. Do you know they did the Street Fighter Legends?
Yeah,
some of them have appeared on Netflix as well, which has given me the opportunity to watch them. The Street Fighter Ryu and Street Fighter Chun-Li. They were on there. But yeah, like I say, I'm definitely old school anime, manga type of anime when it comes to it, not the new stuff. The new stuff's just like manga for kids.
Yeah, like I've stopped. Like the last time, like I've been rewatching some anime. Don't get me wrong, here, there, and everywhere. But like I don't bother with any of the newer stuff because I just can't be bothered with it. Like the last anime that I watched before my massive hiatus was the anime Erased. But at the same time, I was also watching Dragon Ball Super when that was coming out weekly.
Yeah.
Until that finished. But since Super, and now I suppose Daima would be the more recent one. I don't watch anime that much. Still love it. You don't get me wrong. Like some of my favorite shows would be like different animes, like Death Note, Death Parade, Code Geass, Angel Beats, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Golden Time is another one. But it's still, I kind of find it more difficult to get back into it now. I tried have the time.
I tried Death Note and I got a couple of episodes in it, but like I say, I had a couple of weeks break trying in between stuff, and I couldn't get back into it. Attack on Titan, I struggled because there was such a huge gap in between.
Yeah, like I've only ever seen the first season, and that was when it came out, when the English dub came out and it was on Netflix.
Yeah,
And that's over a decade ago. So I definitely need to rewatch that.
There was such a big space in between series being released, including in the final series, part 3, was 12 months after part 2. You know, and it was like, right, okay, and we're waiting, but you could get the Japanese release, you could get, you know, so you could watch it, and people were posting about what was happening with Erin and stuff like that, and it was like, I'm trying to avoid it because it, you know, I want to see it when it's released over here, but it doesn't really get a TV release. It just got a Blu-ray release, but like I say, you're waiting 12 to 18 months between seasons.
Yeah.
And
see,
then
for me, like I could watch it in sub when I get out. Like that's what I did for Daima, because it was ages, but a couple of like several weeks into Daima's release that they were finally released in English dub. Now, granted, when Daima first came out, they had the first 3 episodes shown in cinema, but then it was another couple of weeks after that before they started coming out with the dub on Crunchyroll and Netflix. So like, and then they're only releasing those weekly, compared to where we're at, where we were at that point in Daima, like maybe like at episode 10, 11 or something like that. So I have no issue when if for stuff like that watching it in sub straight away, because to be honest, I do prefer the Japanese cast to the English cast at this point.
I can't watch anything with subtitles. I find myself paying too much attention to the subtitles than I am watching what's going on.
And that's probably just an age thing, you know, or a neurotypical thing. Like I for me, I can't, like if I'm watching something, like a movie or something, I'll instantly put on subtitles. Whereas, like I'm used to that.
So
like having them there.
I think Steve watched the first season of Squid Games with subtitles, didn't you? If I remember correctly. Yeah, and I tried to go back and watch it with subtitles, and I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, like when what was it called? That big World War I film that came out, All Quiet on the Western Front. When that came out, I watched that in the original version of it, not the English dub. I found it to be a lot more enjoyable, because when I was watching clips of the English dub, like it was just so off. You know, hearing like British people talking as Germans, and the lip sync was just completely off.
See, I don't mind stuff like that. You're talking programs like Money Heisting, 3% that was on Netflix, and that was like the Brazilian one where they do, you know, and all that. I don't mind watching all the foreign dub stuff, Alice in Borderlands, and Sweet Home, and all that. Like, I don't mind the bad English dubbing that goes with them, because I'm actually enjoying what I'm watching on the screen.
The only crazy thing about that is on when they changed the voiceover actor
halfway through.
Yeah. So I think it was definitely Money Heist. I think Money Heist was one of them, where literally after about a season or two, some of the voice actors changed, and obviously you're used to hearing that voice come out of that person. It's fucking mental.
It's the same with Dragon Ball. Like when Z was coming out, it was originally the Ocean dub for it up until like, I don't know, halfway through the Frieza saga, and then that's when they brought in the likes of Sean Schemmel, Chris Sabat, and Funimation was doing it in house instead of outsourcing it to Canada to do the voices.
So we were talking before about CGI series and stuff like that, and now you've got your anime series. We've got crossover series now that will be coming out. You know, you've got the Warhammer that's going to be very heavily CGI'd and anime sort of were done. That's going to be Henry Cavill's going to be doing that. You've got the new Pacific Rim series that's just been announced. That's going to follow along the lines of Pacific Rim the Black, which was the cartoon series that was out.
Yeah.
Where would you sort of sit with that? Because obviously Pacific Rim's another one of those films. We were talking about Tron and Tron Legacy before, about them having a fan base after the release of the film, and Pacific Rim's like that as well. That's got a big follow.
Yeah, because I still have yet to see it.
Where would you see those type of series go, and how much of the anime stroke CGI stroke would you want to see in something like that?
When it comes to like stuff like that, in my opinion, if you're gonna do CGI, you need to do it right. You need to give these animators enough breathing room to get it done. But the issue with a lot of these people in charge now, like, it's not so much like the directors or stuff like or producers, it's the people who have given money for this project. They want to see a return on investment like that, and so they're the ones who are putting pressure on these people to get it done and get it out at a particular point. It's the same reason why, like, when Cyberpunk came out, that it was an absolute mess, because it was like the developers knew that it wasn't ready, but the higher ups forced it out so that way they can pay back investors, and that's where issues arise. With these investors getting greedy and wanting a return on that investment straight away, they're not giving it enough breathing room, and then that's how they're going to lose money. Whereas they be patient and wait for these things to develop properly, to look really as good as they can. Like, take District 9, for example. Nearly 20 years later, it still holds up. The CGI still holds up compared to some of the slop that's coming out now.
But I would love to see a sequel to District 9.
Yeah.
District 9 was, again, that's another film that didn't really have its payoff when it was released, But you watch it again now and you're like, wow, why didn't I enjoy this the first time?
Yeah, I still have yet to actually watch it. I just remember the controversy surrounding it, where this big this channel that was pumping out like content daily, like talking about a whole bunch of different shit, got caught plagiarizing it from a smaller creator. And so that's how I know about the whole like CGI, the love that went into that, and the time and effort that went into that, and that's something that I use that when I talk about CG compared to then versus now. District 9 is the one that I hold up on that pedestal, because even though I haven't seen the film properly, I've seen bits of it. I've seen, so that's how I know it still holds up. The CG still holds up compared to the newer shit.
Yeah.
See, District 9 obviously went on to do Chap after that, and then Elysium, was it? So
Elysium was before Chappie, wasn't it?
Yeah, so was it Elysium and then Chappie?
Yeah.
So, but I watched something recently where he was saying that for a few years he was flirting the idea of doing a sequel to District 9, and then it all went cold. And then it's been cropping up again recently, because obviously he got very busy very quickly with other projects. But whether he goes back into it or not, I think it's definitely still up in the air. That it's not a definite no at the minute.
Again, though, I think the thing that why they want a sequel to District 9 is because it's been 10, 15 years or whatever it is since District 9. And
15 years this year.
Yeah, and all these sequels are coming up 20, 30 years afterwards. So it's like
Goonies, that's getting a sequel that shit doesn't need.
I don't think we need sequels. So I don't think we need
another. We don't. Like, if the movie's good enough and it doesn't set up for a sequel, don't fucking give it a sequel.
No, and I don't think we needed a sequel to another sequel to Beverly Hills Cop. I don't think we needed that last one. I certainly don't think we needed what was the other one? Coming to America. I don't think that
Yeah.
needed it. You know.
Yeah,
The-
like Bad Boys didn't need the 4 and 5 that they've done.
No.
Or
However, I have watched, and Steve's going to laugh at me now. I have watched Ride or Die again, and I actually quite enjoyed that.
I don't like them. I think they're good movies. I don't. I'm always happy to see them two back together again.
Yeah, but give me something new.
Mm.
You know, they're too old now to be running around playing. the
Well,
bad
Martin
guy.
Lawrence is not Will Smith.
Yeah, you know, and I think you've seen that when he was taking a bit more of a sort of laid back approach to the chases and stuff like that, and
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know if you make Martin Lawrence the captain now, and you
Yeah.
know, and Will Smith's now the trainer. But again, we were going back to what we were talking about before about the Buffy series, about Buffy
Mhm.
being the Watcher. You know, the link to these new series or these new films is the old character coming back to play a
Yeah.
training role. We certainly don't need any more Fast and the Furious.
No.
No, I remember the days where they just used to rob cars and steal
Well, we've got
DVD.
one more to go, haven't we? And going back
Yeah.
to our
Fast
conversation
X Part 2.
CGI,
But no, I think even when while they're filming that, I think they're going to do a few more. Definitely a few spin-offs, like another Hobbs and Shaw film. But
don't
I
think
haven't
it's the
seen
case.
any of the Fast and Furious films. I have no intention of it.
No.
Like, you know, and that is something that that I was actually thinking of. Series that have gone on far longer than they need to. Fast and Furious is one of them.
Karate Kid.
And it is not necessarily because what Karate Kid has put out is good.
Back to
You
the
know,
Future.
yeah, Back to the Future doesn't need any more. Like
You
that.
need
That's
the
it.
age
Leave it as.
because I know you're fishing there.
Jurassic Park.
You're
I haven't
definitely.
seen any of the Jurassic Park, so I can't say shit.
No, the thing is that there's definite with some of them movies you turn your brain off because you know exactly what you're going to watch. Like
Yeah.
that's if you watch a Bad Boys movie, you're going for a bit of for action because usually it's Michael Bay. You know,
Mm.
you're going for comedy between the two characters that play off the. You know, but there is still franchises out there that are just dragging things out for the sake of it because it's guaranteed money at least until they
Yeah.
really pick it up, and then you know, I think the Beverly Hills Cop thing, coming to America, yeah, probably not the best idea. Beverly Hills Cop thing, is that a case of them wanting to right a wrong with the third one? Because I know a lot of people don't like the third one, so are they trying to?
I enjoyed the original trilogy of Beverly Hills Cop.
I did.
And I think the it finishes Rosewood's story quite well. It finishes Taggart's story quite well. You know, it leaves it open to he's just going to go back and just keep raising havoc. And I think in the last one, where obviously you see Taggart and you see Rosewood's been pushed out the police force because of this and that and everything else. I just didn't like the direction he took with those, and I'm certainly not one for nostalgia heart pulls. You know, bringing back like Surge and people like that just because they were, again, they spent 30 seconds in a film somewhere in the original sequel in the original trilogy. You know, I'd like to see them do Back to the Future again, but this time where Doc gets shot. This time where Doc gets shot in the car park, Marty doesn't go back in time to save him. That's the end of it. The film will last 15 minutes, done, because he hasn't shown them how to use the time machine yet.
So nothing happens.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you get
not the future.
You get the and he's dead. Right? You know, done.
Big Steve just hates fun.
Yeah, done. Yeah, 15 minutes. It could be a short before the Jurassic Park 18. You know,
he's a twat. Honest to God.
Like I said, I don't think I'm going to rush to see the new Jurassic Park film either. Although it's got Scarlett Johansson in it, I can't see how they said Dominion was going to be the last one. It will see us all out. It'll be a great end. Oh, and by the way, here's another film.
Yeah.
Money, mate. Money, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And that is an
tried to
issue.
hide it. It's actually called Jurassic World. They haven't even tried to hide it as anything else.
Yeah, no, true. Yeah. I mean, if it's an action film, I'm happy to watch it. I have no problems with them. But you know what you're going into, don't you?
Yeah.
You know, and that's your choice. But like some of these things where I know we sort of touched on it earlier on, like with Snow White stuff. When they start messing with stuff and changing stuff, that's when I do have a problem. Sometimes I'd rather just leave the originals alone.
And that's why I'm looking forward to the Lilo and Stitch live action film towards the end of next month, because it looks like a basically 1-to-1 just in live action.
Yeah.
And it looks like it was handled with love and care.
Was it the Lion King? Wasn't it that was like literally script a pitch like this? Not picture for picture. That's the wrong word. Scene for scene. Like
yeah.
I haven't seen it because I usually stay away from the live action scene when it comes to animated movies to live action. But Lilo and Stitch is the one that's going to get that had me like, oh, maybe I'll give this a shot.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. And then you've got train wrecks like Aladdin.
Yeah. Which again, he didn't do a terrible job, but based on like the situation with Robin Williams, I wouldn't have gone back into that personally. I wouldn't have been putting Will Smith in that thing really.
And the fact that we have this year Moana 2 and then the live action version of the first Moana film coming out makes no fucking sense. Like the film hasn't been out that long. And they're like, oh yeah, let's just make a live action.
Well,
like what's next? A live action Frozen?
That's just a Rock though, isn't it? Trying to get himself back into the cinema playing Maui.
Yeah.
Right. Guys, we're gonna call it a day there. We've been going for 2 hours and 17 minutes. Steve, are we gonna commit to doing this more regularly now?
That's all
I'm
on you,
not gonna hold my breath.
I told you I'm ready to go when you are.
Okay. Michael, fancy being a regular guest?
Yeah, I'm happy to come whenever. Whenever I'm free, I'll definitely be on.
It'll be nice to have another voice apart from this moaning bitch. Ladies and gents, and guys that have been previously on the channel, Gods of Science Fiction, I know you popped in. If you're still here, mate, we'll reach back out and get you back on. That was probably one of the most enjoyable streams that we've had for a while, having you on, talking old sci-fi. I know little Steve was probably
for a while,
What? What did you say then?
I have no idea.
It's the best stream we've had in a while. I was like, we've not been on for a while.
Yeah. How could you top that apart from having Michael on, obviously?
You know what? I tell you what, I miss the now streams that now out. What about you?
Yeah. We won't leave it long, Dave. We'll be on. We'll be on. I reckon either weekly or fortnightly. I think we'll do it next week and then see how we go from there. Obviously, that depends on my availability. If I'm not on, little Steve will be holding the fort down because he's not got a personal life.
No, I really don't. I don't.
No. So he can hold the fort down and get us back on.
You know it's bad when even I have more of a life than little Steve.
Okay, guys. Thank you for watching. Like I say, we'll be back with regular content, and you never know, we might even get a pre-recorded video out of little Steve in 2025.
I'll believe that when I see it.
Yeah, I wouldn't tie a zip tie around your ball sack though, Michael. They'll probably fall off before it happens.
I don't know. They're pretty big balls, so
pretty tight zip ties. And on that note, guys, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye.